Let's go with the Azuri's Predation. We make... Oh my god, the tokens are doubled. Oh, I forgot. Yeah, that was definitely the right call. Opponents have to have a board wipe now.
Today on Commander Replay, I got Worms as we find out if I can bring it home with this Baru Wurmspeaker deck. Next on Commander Replay. Hey guys, there's two great ways to support the channel. All links are in the description below.
Welcome back everyone, playing some Baru Wurmspeaker today, and today's deck list comes to us from Patreon supporter D-Manny. Let's take a look at this opener. He did specifically tell me before the game, do not keep a hand without ramp, so we're gonna mulligan this one. As we are playing Worms, and they are very expensive. This one's got an Oracle of Muthiah plus a lot of lands. I think we can, that works for me. That is both ramp and like pseudo card advantage in the sense that if you're playing them off the top, you get a few extra cards out of there, so I can work with that. Plus we get a Bonder's Enclave to draw a little bit. Maybe one more land than I'd really prefer, but hopefully things go smoothly. Oh god, I don't recognize any of these commanders. Well, we're gonna have to take a look at those in a minute. So many new cards. Haven't been playing as much of late. Had a lot of work going on and a lot of other stuff. Been tough to keep up on all the new things. Brings it to our turn one. There's a Chameleon Colossus, thankfully not a land. This one can come in untap if we have a forest. I guess we just play a forest. Pass like that. So let's take a look at our commander. It's Baru Wurmspeaker, 4 mana for a 3/3. Worms you control have +2/+2 and trample, and pay 8, make a 4/4 worm. This ability costs X less to activate, where X is the greatest power among worms you control. So Baru is the worm commander. It's, yeah, that's all this commander really does. You can put some worms into play, and when they're in play, you make them bigger and give them trample. This deck, you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of like a very old school kind of green deck where it's not super value heavy in the way that green decks tend to be now, where it's like cast a creature, draw a card, cast a creature, draw a card. This is like lay a couple creatures out there, make them huge, give them trample, turn them sideways, right? Has that very like 2010, 2012 kind of vibe to it. And D-Manny's got me with it a bunch of times. I played another one of his decks recently, and it's funny. Oh god, Azuri's Predation. Super nasty card. Anyway, we'll play the Castle Garenbrig right here. Nothing on 2. Looks like we're just passing. Anyway, so yeah, as I talked about in another video, D-Manny and I have played together a lot over the past like 2 years, and he's not like some of the other people that I play against regularly in the Patreon and the Discord, where they build a new deck like every day or every week. Like, there's people you've seen in games with us on MTG over the years that have like a new deck every single time they play. D-Manny is not one of those people. He's got, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 decks that he likes to play, and they're very fine-tuned, which means that I have like a lot of data having seen his decks a lot. Like, I know how they operate, I know how they win, might even see some weaknesses in the deck. So it is just interesting having like, you know, just like all those matches played against a particular commander, especially with like so many commanders coming out that, you know, a lot of times when you sit down at a table, you're looking at a commander for the first time, like even for me, who, you know, up until like pretty recently played tons and tons of Commander. I remember the last time I went to GP Vegas, I had to read like, I don't know, probably 60% of the commanders that people were playing. And I'm like, well, this is unusual, because years prior to that, like when there was only one commander product a year, on average, I knew about 80 to 90% of the cards in people's decks. Like I didn't need to read them to know what they do. And it's just a very different experience when there's like 2,000 new cards in a year and you have to read every single thing that someone plays. It's actually not the most enjoyable for me. I prefer just knowing what all the cards do. Anyway, there's a tangent for you. Opponent cracks a Moonsilver Key. Going to get a Soul Ring. Gross. Yeah, I wouldn't be sad to see a Cultivator or Rampant Growth, or at least anything to do on 3. Off to a very slow start. Oh god, Workshop, doing that. Into a Karn Legacy Reforged. Sure, I'm not going to like what this says. There's a Hunter's Insight. It is 3 mana, but we cannot cast it. That is disappointing. Play the Bonder's Enclave, and literal nothing on 3. Pass the turn. Let's take a look at what our opponents are playing. First up is Zombie Caller, piloting Thalia and the Gitrog monster. Haven't seen this one yet, but from what I hear, it should be pretty good. 4 mana, 4/4, with First Strike and Death Touch. You may play an additional land on each of your turns. Creatures and non-basic lands your opponents control enter the battlefield tapped. Whenever Thalia and the Gitrog monster attack, sacrifice a creature or a land, then draw a card. So this one is a very faithful combination of the 2 creatures on which it draws upon. I think the only real difference is that it's an attack trigger instead of I forget what the original Gitrog says. Is the original Gitrog just whenever you sack a land, draw a card? I can't remember. I haven't seen one in a while. I haven't played it that much. I never cared for that commander just because when people start doing the loop, like it just takes a long time. I never cared for decks that like just eat up a lot of clock, right? I don't want to sit there for 10 minutes while you like try to order your graveyard the right way. And like they're not even furthering their board state, which is the worst part with the Gitrog. They're literally just trying to stack their graveyard the right way. Just like, oh my god. Anyway, yep, no love of the original Gitrog. This one seems much more tame, although it's a lot of stacks. Plus, like, you can play additional lands. That non-basic lands thing, that'll kill you. The creature's coming in tap, too. I've been wrecking people with Blind Obedience in some recent games, and although funny enough, whenever I ran 3-mana Thalia in decks, it just never seemed to do as much as I wanted it to. Like, because it's super nasty against, like, fetch lands and stuff, and I don't know, just... Like, I would never get it early against the 4-color decks, which is where you really wanted that thing to come down, and I don't know. It was a whole thing. Maybe I need to look at that one again. The game has changed over the past, 4 or 5 years. Moving on from that, in the middle, we've got 7 Deadly Sins piloting Najal the Stormrunner. Haven't seen this one. 5 mana, 5/4. You may cast sorcery spells as though they had flash. Gross. Whenever Najal attacks, you may pay 2. If you do... When you cast your next instant or sorcery spell this turn, copy it. You may choose new targets for the copy. Okay, so Mizzix, but nastier, basically. Blue-red Spellslinger. Whenever I see like a new blue-red Spellslinger commander, I'm just like, it's a variant of Mizzix. I'm just like, oh, it's a variant of Mizzix. I get it. They will play no creatures, and they will win the game out of nowhere. Awesome. Gilded Lotus. Yeah, opponents have a lot more ramp than we do. I hope things go well with this Oracle of Moldiah. We're probably also going to need it to stick for a couple turns. Like if we cast it and then someone plays a board wipe or something, that's not going to be great. And finally, we've got Annihilator 7 piloting Karn Legacy Reforged. It's a 5 mana 5/5 that does something on the upkeep. It seems like a ton of text that we'll read in a second. Has power toughness equal to the number of the greatest mana value among artifacts you control. So it's a star, naturally. And at the beginning of your upkeep, add 1 colorless for each artifact you control. This mana can't be spent to cast non-artifact spells until end of turn. This mana doesn't empty the pool until end of turn. Oh, Immortal Sun. God. So it gets big and makes mana. Okay, yeah, there's a Luxed on Warhammer, so seems like maybe a Voltron deck with maybe some stacks elements. Immortal Sun, I don't know. Maybe just run the Immortal Sun for value. Yeah, I mean, it's card draw, and colorless is always tough. Send in a 7/7 over to 7 Deadly. Yeah. This itself is an artifact, which means if we run into artifact removal, that would kill it. Brings it back to our turn. Nature's Lore showing up a turn late. Makes me sad. Oh god, we're gonna get crushed in the snow covereds. Oh, the commander's not in yet. Oh, thank god. Play the snow covered. Play the Oracle of Moldiah. Blessed Respite shuffles target player's graveyard, prevent all combat damage. But we'll have 2 chances to look at some extra lands next turn, so that's good with Nature's Lore. Oh man, I so wish this showed up on turn 3. Would just be so much better. Here comes Thalia in the Gitrog. Yep. I believe that's going to crush the snow-covered lands. Wait, let's see. Non-basic. These are basics, right? No, they are basics. Okay. So the snow covers get through okay. Thank God. Cradle of the Accursed. Huh. Never seen that one. Sacrifice it, make a 2/2 black zombie creature token. Activated sorcery. Yeah, that's why. Pretty mediocre land. I would guess it's really just kind of fuel for deserts if you're doing desert stuff. Sahili's Artistry. Create a token. Oh, yeah. Okay. They get themselves an Oracle of Moldiah. And I didn't see what they did with the second one. Oh, and the Immortal Sun. Well, Planeswalkers are definitely boned this game. He runs... What's that nasty card? Let's take a look at his deck, by the way. This is D-Manny's deck. Where's that nasty thing? Wave of Vitriol. That will solve a lot of problems in this game. I hope we run into it. Anyway, here's a look at the deck. Fairly standard green creature deck, big ramp deck. Stuff like Ronas Monument can get pretty interesting in the late game. Your stuff is already pretty big. It gets really big if that's in there and you cast a creature or 2. But yeah, other than that, I don't think I have too many thoughts on the deck. Yeah, it's got a higher curve than what we typically see these days. Oh, yeah, that's 11 7-drops. Even my Angel deck doesn't have that many. There's about 7 or 8 usually, maybe 9 on a bad day. And that gets clunky. It gets real clunky. That deck, fortunately, white has a lot of board wipes. Green is much more limited in the board wipe potential. Wave of Vitriol and Azuri's Predation are two of your best bets. Monstrous Onslaught is really good. I don't know if he's running that one. Doesn't look like it, but that one can be good if you're doing the big creature thing, which this deck kind of is. So opponent's got 4 mana that doesn't empty, so they can just cough down the artifacts. They're down to 3 cards, thankfully. I guess Immortal Sun, they have Immortal Sun and Mystic Forge. Yeah, and Alhemra's Archive. Okie dokie. A lot of good value artifacts over there. Exile the top card with the Mystic Forge. This card was like, there was so much hype for this card when it came out, and now you really don't see them all that much. Usually just specifically in a deck that looks like this, where it's almost entirely artifacts. Yeah, equips the thing. It's big and got trample and lifelink. A lot of this is on the hands of Mishra's Workshop, which is a card that, like, honestly, this could be banned. Oh god, a Chroma's Memorial. Where is this one going? Also going into 7 Deadly. This is gonna... Ooh, they're on 18 commander damage. Yeah, everything looks terrible. We've got this prevent all combat damage thing. I think we'll be needing that at some point. We draw the combat damage thing. Oh, Garrick is good card draw, but like, we really need to hit the lands. Yeah, we need lands. Yeah. Panglacial Worm. Forgot about the Panglacial Worm. Yeah, we don't have the mana for it. That makes me sad. Perhaps later. There's the land off the top. Excellent. Doing just what we wanted to do. And a non-land is good. What are we doing? We got 5 mana now. What can we do with 5? You can guess the Chameleon Colossus. Isn't the worst thing I've ever heard of. Do kind of want to be careful, though. Can't activate. We don't have a big enough creature for that. It's disappointing. Man, I'm almost thinking about attacking with this thing and just getting the Hunter's Insight to draw 2 cards. Oh, man. If only that Nature's Lore showed up sooner. I mean, we got to get something in. Oh, wait a second. How much does this take? That takes 4? Crap, that's all of it. It's all the mana. Yeah, I'm just going to take my chances. Hope we don't get crushed. Get the Colossus in. This gives us, like, something to do next turn. Comes in tapped. Ugh. That, too. Not going anywhere with the Oracle. 7 Deadly's already in trouble. Other 2 have blockers up. A removal spell would be good. Got Pro Black, which isn't amazing. Dreadhorde General should get the job done. It will be sad to lose our Oracle and our Colossus, but this thing is very deadly. Did he just pass? Chooses not to use his Planeswalker. It's a bold choice. See if it pays off. Oh, Immortal Sun. Yep, 2 Immortal Suns at that. Najal the Stormrunner coming in. Comes in tapped. I mean, maybe there's a world in which, I doubt it, but there's a world in which they send this thing into the Liliana. Because if someone comes up with artifact removal, like if we found artifact removal, I might shoot both Immortal Suns, right? Because it's a really powerful card, and I kind of want this thing to die. So that could happen depending on what we draw. And also they're drawing double. Yeah, that's going to be a bad thing too. Mystic Forge. Sure, this will get bad. Hate this card. Really anything that makes treasure tokens? Kind of a problem these days. Dreamstone Hedron. Yep. Draw 6 seems very good. It does come in... No, it doesn't come in tap. Never mind. Need a Blind Obedience for that. No Blind Obedience in this deck. They use it for mana. Hearth and Home. Hearth and Home is a problem for us with the pro green. Opponent's going to Arcane Denial that. That's actually pretty good. 1, they do not need any additional value, and 2, they might be recognizing that, like... Actually, yeah, that gives them protection from 4 colors, right? Nothing good's coming out of that, right? They've already got protection from 2. An additional 2 colors on there is, you know, one of the saving graces that we could, like, theoretically go wide on them at some point. We're not at all set up to do that, but if the game goes long enough and someone can slow them down. Ugin's Nexus. I'm sure there's a reason that's in there. Well, at least this thing didn't get any bigger. It didn't become one-hit lethal, which is good. See what he wants to do with it. Coming our way, yeah. Figured that might happen. We're going to run into a mana problem here. We kind of need to catch 2 more lands. Feel a lot better if we did. 11 commander, down to 29. There's the Arcane Denial triggers. I'm going to draw 2 off that. Yeah, the card's just... I mean, we need to find Wave of Vitriol. That's... like what has to happen. 7 Deadly showing a Biforce on top of their library. That's a magic card. And in particular, one that the doctor ordered. There's that first land. Oh no, the Panglacial Worm's on top. Not gonna get to play it from the library. Sad. So Zombie has 2 black creatures, which means we can get in... This thing isn't black, is it? Nope, it's colorless. So Zombie has 2 black creatures, which means we can get in with this. How much mana we need? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3. Ugh. We would then need to find a second land to make sure that we can leave this up, which we're probably gonna do. Because, I mean, that's a draw 8. This is the instant or the sorcery one? It is the instant one. Ah, funny story. How big is that? That's an 11-8? If we had a little more mana, we'd actually be able to force our way in through here. Oh, there's an interesting thought. This is 8 damage. She could kill that, but I kind of want to draw the cards. Swing into zombie. No blocks. Hunter's Insight. That resolves. There's the hit. Now we draw 8. This is actually going to be kind of tricky, because we're going to go up to 12 cards. Assumingly we can play 1 land, but after that, yeah, okay. Yeah, it's getting a little weird after that. And there's a land on top, even to make it more awkward. I don't know what kind of reanimation is in this deck. Oh, there's a Greater Good. Yeah, I mean, play the land from the... actually, no. I think we leave the land on top, honestly. We are going to play this land, though, and not the Mosswort to leave up the Fog. We have to discard 4. Oh, you know what? We can everything's going to get shuffled back in. Okay, yeah. When we Fog, everything will get shuffled back in, and shouldn't be too big of a deal. Cool. Pass like that. What are we getting rid of? Greater Good is strong, but we're not really well set up for it in this moment, so I'm going to get rid of that one. This one is sort of the win condition, but this is another super mana-hungry one that we're also not set up for, so we'll get rid of that one. Like, we want to be able to cast something and, like, not have to pump mana into it every turn. We've already got too much of that happening. Would like to keep the land drops lined up. This is reasonably the next one that we might play. God, it's so much mana, though. The slime seems too good. I think Bookworm's got to go. That still leaves one more card we got to get rid of. Maybe the Mosswort Bridge. No, we'll keep the Mosswort Bridge. Want to hit the lands. I think, well, the commander's going to survive. Yeah, let's get rid of this removal spell. We still have the Azuri's Predation, and if 7 Deadly Byforces like all the stuff over there, then this will get a lot smaller and shouldn't be nearly as much of a problem to deal with. We might even be able to get it with the Azuri's Predation. Primal Vigor is a magic card. If 1 or more tokens, make 2. 1 or more counters, put twice that many. Yep. This one does affect all players, though. Which makes it a little bit different than Doubling Season, so watch out for that. That does come up sometimes. I am very excited to watch this Byforce go off. Zombie's going to come back in our direction. Yeah, that's fine. We did hit him for value. Kind of hard. They get to sack a thing if they want to. They sacrifice the Cradle. No blocks. Annihilator put 18 Commander on 7 Deadly, like, pretty early into this game. It's still only turn 6. So, you know, they haven't exactly bought themselves goodwill to not get crushed by this Byforce, which is great. I'm excited. I'm excited about this. We have no artifacts, so we're not on the chopping block for anything with it, which is atypical, right? Like, most of the decks that I play have a lot of artifacts in them. If someone plays the artifact removal spell, I usually get hit by it very hard and want to cry a little bit. It is rare when that does not happen. Let's take a look at this, though. It's turn 6. We've already had our turn 6. We have 9 lands in play. That is Oracle of Moldiah doing some work, because we had no ramp before that. It's been our only... we did have a Nature's Lore. There was one Nature's Lore afterwards, but... yeah, Oracle. I think we've hit 2 lands every turn with Oracle, and... man, if we can get like 2 more turns of that, then we'll be in pretty good shape. Next turn, we'll want to play the Mosswort Bridge before we play this Forest, just to see if there's another chance to get one off the top. Opponent's got an Archaeomancer on top. Those are always scary. Byforce X6. Love it. Oh, they're getting some good ones too. Let's take a look at it. Akroma's Memorial, the Hedron Archive, Luxodon Warhammer, Mystic Forge, and Alhammarret's Archive. They leave the Immortal Sun. Interesting. I may have gone for the Immortal Sun also, and they just scoop. That is the game-winning Byforce right there. The rest of us still kind of all in setup mode after that, although 7 Deadly still got a lot of mana left, so they can do some things. We're slowly getting there. They just send 6 into the Planeswalker. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Also, the Oracle into the Plane. They really want the Planeswalker dead. When it attacks, oh yeah, may pay 2, next spell, copy it. Oh, God. Yeah, they might be the threat. I think they've got the most going here. In some sense, it's also kind of what they get. Like, they started on 7 Deadly really hard and then didn't finish them, which is like, it's sort of a dick move to kill them, but at that point, when you've done that much damage, like, you're not going to buy any goodwill at the table. You kind of got to finish the job. Really, the issue there, like, if that second hit went to Zombie or us instead, then, you know, then maybe they're a little more friendly with the thing. But Zombie blocks with the Nakara. Just trying to draw a card, I think. Oh, actually, also, this stays alive. Oh, this doesn't have flying. Yeah, it looks like it's flying. I just assumed it had flying. It does not. So they block the big one, keeping the Liliana alive, drawing a card in the process. Not the worst thing ever. If they can figure out a way to get rid of the Immortal Sun, then they could actually activate this. And in this current moment, don't know that I want to lose both of our things. Like, if we can get the Azuri's Predation off, then that'd be pretty good. Opponent's going to Mystic Confluence, just drawing a lot of cards. Doesn't feel like they have what they need, so gonna dig for a bunch more. That is a draw 6, is what that is. Now showing a Cryptic Command on top. Oh boy. Dare I say this deck may not be well suited to deal with a blue deck all that well. There's a Volcanic Offering on top. That's also a nasty one. Really prefer none of those things get doubled. There's the Forest on top. Play the Forest on top. There's a Surrock. Oh man, Surrock would be nice. Although creatures still come in tapped. Yep, that's still a thing. What are we doing this turn? So the first one goes to 8. The second one goes to 16. I don't think we really have a way to put additional power on it, which is disappointing. Because opponent's at 22. You could hit him pretty hard. Though, opponent's at 22. That would get him for, what, 16? Ah, yeah, no, this isn't quite enough to finish the job. Oh, I know what we can do. We could acidic slime the Immortal Sun, which isn't the worst idea. It's doing a lot. Oh, yeah, you know what happens too? This goes into range of Azuri's Predation if we do that. We probably can't do it all in one turn, because that is a lot of mana. Let's just double check. So that's 8, 9, 10. We'll have 11 if we play that one. That is a 5 plus a 7. We're one short. Oh, God, this game. One short all game. Not great. We'll probably want to leave up the Heroic Intervention for the Volcanic Offering. In doing that would, in some sense, I mean, that might just take Zombie out of the game. It's interesting. On the other hand, let's see. If we play the Acidic Slime, ideally I'd love to get like a cheap creature in somehow. How much is our Commander? Commander's 4. Might be looking at that. That might be exactly enough. Yeah, I think that's exactly enough to do everything we need to do. Okay. So let's... Ah, crap. I should have played the Commander first. Yeah, this would get +2. Whoopsie. Ooh. So if this had +2 and we did all that, it would go, what? It'd be 6, then to 12, then to 20. We would have had enough. Yep, missed that line. It's okay. I assume we have enough. We don't have enough mana to do that. We'd only have enough mana to activate it once. So it'll still only go to 12 while casting our Commander. So I think that means... Play this Forest. What's the minus on this? It's a -4, so they actually can't minus this. It's interesting. Can we get 1 damage somewhere? Part of me also wants to shoot some of the mana. Yeah, let's start on our plan. We'll go Acidic Slime. Shoot the Immortal Sun. We need to leave up... What do we need to leave? We need to leave up 2. And then we can also... Yeah, we can also get our Commander in. Okay. Yeah, that works. Okay. That is an okay turn. Ideally with this deck, you want to catch multiple ramp spells in your opener. The games where I've seen D-Manny really get out of hand, that's where he goes like Rampant Growth into Cultivate, and then maybe a Sky Shroud Claim after it. You're like, oh my god, that's so many lands. Because then you can get all the big stuff quickly, and then, you know, your card draw tends to trigger off of big creatures, so then you're just rolling a lot quicker. We are not doing that in this game. Things have been kind of slow. The zombie is going to plus the Liliana. Notably, this is only +1/+1 counters. It is not every type of counter, so it does not double the Liliana. 4/4 coming our way. Sacrifices a token to draw a card, and then they'll draw a second card. Yeah, that all seems pretty good. Down to 21. There's that Cryptic Command somewhere we got to be careful about. Undead Warchief is a magic card. Haven't really seen a theme. Oh, maybe is it zombies? Yeah, it might be Abzan zombies. Yeah, I think that's what he's doing. Yep, he's playing an Abzan zombie deck. This makes zombies, that land that made zombies, this makes zombies, and this cares about zombies. Nice. Yeah, that Cryptic Command really has the ability to wreck our face. Swarm Intelligence? No. Well, I wish I saved that Acidic Slime now. So if they can attack, they can then make 2 copies of... Yeah, there's the Volcanic Offering. And there's the copy. Thought this might happen. Hopefully they don't have a counterspell. They do, this is bad. Just go ahead and Heroic Intervention right now. Pray that this gets through. It does. It does. So this, like, probably takes Zombie out of the game. We get through just fine. Did they choose not to copy it? Is that a may? You may. Yeah, they chose not to copy it. Yeah, probably understanding that, like, I mean, that's pretty brutal. That's a lot of lands going down. Doesn't feel the best. We are wide open to attacks, which isn't great. Those are both summoning 6, so we're okay there. That's still some damage. Oh, it's during 7 Deadly's turn. Both players are tapped out. This is a pretty good spot, actually. We are set up to take over this game. Check on top for land. Oh, there's the Wave of Vitriol. Oh, I wish that showed up sooner. Are we hiding away that wave of... I don't know that we are. We'll see. What we should do is play that Azuri's Predation and absolutely demolish our opponents. We won't have enough for the Surrock after, which is kind of disappointing. Read this thing again. What's this say? Or activate abilities of creatures. Okay, so we should probably, like, use this for the first time all game. But then we're short on the Azuri's Predation. This has Trample, though, so there is that. Oh, Azuri's Predation seems so good. Yeah, oh, man, just 1 mana short continuously all game, this deck. Yeah, sometimes it'd be like that. Let's go with the Azuri's Predation. We make... Oh my god, the tokens are doubled. Oh, I forgot it. Yeah, that was definitely the right call. Opponents have to have a board wipe now. Zombie gets to draw 2 cards. Cryptic Command can still slow us down for a turn. Like I said, it does matter that this does affect other players. I think this thing's also crazy expensive, but also the fact that it's not just you, I think you don't see it as much as you used to. You can get this sort of stuff safer without helping your opponents at all. Play the Mosswart Bridge. Hideaway, it's probably going to be the Wave of Vitriol. It's just too good. Yeah, definitely going to be the wave. Elder Scale Worm on top. What are we doing for attacks here? We should probably finish off this. We don't even care about the Liliana, really. Unless they kill all the tokens somehow. Yeah, I don't think we actually care about the Liliana. Everything in a 7 deadly. That's one of the better Azuri's Predations I've ever seen. Does each one fight? No, these ones didn't fight anything. Okay, so only the copies don't fight. God, even with all the mana we have, still just everything's so expensive in this deck. Being quick is really a big deal with this one. Mosswart Bridge for opponent. We are wide open to a board wipe. If they play one, we're going to have to rebuild. Now, we have decent tools to do that. Namely, a big creature plus a Garruk. It's pretty good. But someone does need to have it. They make a zombie. Awaken the Erstwhile. Each player discards all the cards in their hand, then creates that. Oh, really? That's what we're doing. Well, I wish I cast this first. You know what? In some sense, though. Oh, it's going to double. Everyone gets double tokens. That's kind of wild, actually. I think we come out ahead in that exchange, though. Man, that's not a bad card. Yeah, the pro black is a big deal here, since all these are black. But yeah, it's a pretty funny play. Yeah, so I now that I'm seeing this thing, I kind of like this. Yeah, maybe you don't run it everywhere, but you know when you get to that point in the game where, like, I mean, basically where we just were, where your opponents don't have that much in play, and you are more scared about what they have in their hand, a bunch of tutus is probably less scary than, like, a bunch of spells from the Izzet deck, you know what I'm saying? Discard is an interesting thing. I know it's, like, frowned upon. It doesn't feel great when you're in a chill game, but, you know, as decks get stronger and stronger, some amount of discard can be really helpful, especially the decks that, like, don't commit a lot to the board and are trying to, like, stock up their hand, like the Spellslinger decks, like the Control decks. You know, you make them discard a couple key cards, and it really does a lot. Now, this one's your entire hand, so yeah, it's an interesting card. I've been wanting to make the Spectre tribal deck for ages, but it's just, like, such a nasty thing. Like, it's gonna feel terrible for opponents to play against that. It's just like, you're not gonna have cards in hand all game. Oh, actually, you know what we can do? We can put this on top of from our graveyard into the third from the top. Oh, yeah, that's not a big deal. We should probably do that. We have 3 mana up. We'll draw it eventually if the game goes long enough, and we get an extra card. Seems fine to me. So we'll put the Bookworm in 3 from the top. I forgot that we could activate this thing. Yeah, it would have been pretty cheap to activate that last turn, but on the other hand, we've already got so many tokens that... Did opponent have that Cryptic Command? Yes, they did. Yeah. I mean, getting rid of a Cryptic Command from someone's hand is, like, that's a really big deal. Yeah, it's an interesting effect. I mean, like, it's probably bad if you're behind on board. It's also bad if you can't block very well, but it's one of those, like, good if you're ahead type cards. Sort of like an Armageddon, but for the hand. There's the land off the top. There's the Bookworm. So, like, what we actually need to be careful of is there's a theoretical world in which this thing can keep us alive. Let's not show this yet. They have 11 blockers over there. Yeah, let's go to combat. Send all of these at 7 deadly. Oh, they put in all of these for their tokens? That's amazing. For them to sit there and click every one of them. That is incredible. 10, 11, 12. Send one more just for good measure. Then the problem becomes that, well, we're going to have to lean on the Elder Scale to keep us alive. I think the rest just go into Zombie. The question is if he's going to want to double block all of this. That's got double strike. Maybe we don't want to send that. This one we can send. Yeah, I think everyone else is staying back. Opponent's got 1 card in hand. Let's see how nasty it is. Relearn. Returning a thing. Oh, God. Opponent has an Ether Spouts. We're dead. And it's copied, of course. I mean, I guess we can survive on the Elder Scale for a turn. Wait, no, it's not. As long as you have 7 or more life damage, it reduces it to 7 instead. Okay, yeah. So we get a mini fog right there, but man, we're gonna have to do some stuff in that time. What do we need? Total 10 power? What does this say? Each player sacrifices all artifacts, enchantments, and non-basic lands. Artifacts, enchantments, non-basic. Yeah, there's probably a few of those we want to get rid of. Here comes the Ether Spouts. Man, things were looking so good a second ago. Now they look terrible. Copy it. Yep. At least we left these guys back. That's something. Oh, God, we got to click every one of these. Put the Chameleon on top. The rest doesn't really matter. Chameleon Colossus back on top. Let's play the Elder Scale Worm. Let's use this Castle Garenbrig, which we haven't done all game. And then I think I'm just going to leave up the Mosswart Bridge and Bonder's Enclave. Each opponent has sacrifice. That's going to hit us way worse than everyone else. Yeah, I mean, it's probably got to be the Oracle. Let's see. We'll still have that guy. I think the Oracle's ran its course. Sacrifice the Acidic Slime and the Oracle. I'd like it if they tried to kill 7 deadly. They may not, though. Thalia and Gitrog coming back. Makes a zombie. It'll make 2 zombies. Figuring now is a good time to fire off the Wave of Vitriol. Let's see what he wants to do with this attack. Bunch our way. Not great. More of them our way. I don't know that leaving 7 deadly alive like that's the best idea. Well, what can we do? We can cast a Wave of Vitriol. Oh, I should have used the Bonder's Enclave first. Crap. Whoops. I don't know that's going to matter that much, because we probably block this and then we just die to this, is what I assume happens. Although, it might get interesting now because, like, we cut down their mana a lot and their tricks. So, this is going to shuffle our library too, actually. Yeah, so now it's kind of like, you know, they're not going to be able to, like, sustain the game they were a second ago. Yeah, we hit them hard. Their mana just got cut in half. We are probably going to die, though. Mega Worm. Yeah, I do wish I activated it. I mean, it's not going to matter. Oh, it comes in tapped. Yeah, block 1. They draw. So the other side, we were talking about the discard earlier. The other side is, if someone has onboard draw effects, those tend to cancel out discard. So, discard can be powerful, but against, like, a Beast Whisperer, Guardian Project, something like that, it tends not to be as effective. There's a Corpse Knight. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield, each opponent loses a life. Seems bad. We're at 7. Elder Scale keeping us alive for a turn. We've taken some really big punches back and forth with our opponents. What did we hit them with? First, we hit them with the Azuri's Predation, which set everyone else back quite a bit. Then they got us with the Aetherize. We got them with the Wave of Vitriol. So it's kind of been a lot of haymakers flying back and forth. But I don't know that we're going to come out the right side of this. Drawn into Dreams, huh? Top 7, 2 in the hand. Yep. Almost wonder, they probably should have copied that one, right? Yeah, what's kind of interesting here is that, you know what, a Blasphemous Act would be very interesting. We probably still don't survive, though. Return target instant or sorcery from your graveyard to your hand, returning. Solve the equation. See what they want to do. No attacks. Some of those have vigilance. It's getting interesting now. How can we gain life? We need to get back above 7. Zendikar Resurgence, interesting. Doesn't help us this turn necessarily. I wish we still had that Chameleon Colossus. Just send it in over here. Yeah, none of this is great. You know what, though? I don't know if he can kill us both. I think we go on that bet that, who do you leave? Who do you take down? Yeah, we're sort of not in control of our own destiny. The situation we're presenting is we're allowing Zombie to let themselves make the mistake, and then hopefully we can capitalize on it one way or another. That's kind of all we really have left. Man, not drawing with that, not drawing with the Bonder's Enclave, though. Painful. Funny story about that Graveborn Muse is that if he untaps with that thing, like, that will kill him. Or, like, very close to. The amount of damage that we need to do is, like, very small. He has a lot of zombies in play, and he's going to make more. Though maybe I see what he's doing. He's going to try to burn out 7 deadly. That's not great. Because if he does, he burned him out. Okay, yeah, now we die. Now we die. Okay. Yeah, so we're just going to hope that he didn't have a way to get through both of us there. But, life loss. Yeah, those stupid aristocrat effects. Too strong. We fell behind. We didn't have the fast start. You need the fast start with this deck. I think he's got most of the 4-mana ramp. There's a Migration Path, Oracle, Pier's Whim. There's something to say, too, with the one player scooping. They were at, 80 life or something ridiculous like that? They would have been taking punches for a while, which would have let us get back into the game better and kind of, get through all of our ramp. But, yeah, we caught the clunkiness, and this deck is always just going to have some amount of that. Like, you just, you kind of hope that it goes smoother. But, yeah, it just didn't really get the best opener to have a lot of success. I'd probably put a Nissa's Pilgrimage in here. Put Ama's Reach. He's not running Cultivate. I would run Nissa's Pilgrimage and Cultivate, honestly. Because those are the type of things you want to get going on turn 3. I mean, and I wouldn't cut any of the 4 ramp either. He's got 25 creatures. I probably wouldn't cut any of that. I don't know what I would cut. What's this one do? Oh, that's kind of cool. Yeah, I don't know. We just didn't draw stuff in the right order when we needed it. It's kind of the main issue this game. The deck can be really strong. It is very telegraphed, though. It is just a big, stompy creature deck. It's not running Crater Hoof, so a lot of times those decks kind of kill you out of nowhere with a Crater Hoof. This deck doesn't really do that. You can sort of see it coming. There is an overwhelming Stampede and probably an Overrun in here. Maybe just the Stampede. Yeah, I don't know that I have too many thoughts other than that. We just didn't draw the cards in the right order, so it's kind of the big thing. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, feel free to comment, like, or subscribe. Thank you for watching.
I want to thank my awesome Patreon supporters. You guys are awesome.
If you want to help support the channel, vote on which decks I play next, or if you want to get some good games of Spell Table, be sure to check out my Patreon at the link below.